what's up and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be on the Subculture palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I also got some of her new lipsticks in the Liquid Glow highlights that I'm going to be testing out. There's just been so much back and forth on this palette on Twitter. However, I found Twitter just to be a negative mess altogether, so I'm kind of like, I don't know, I feel like Twitter's like its own source of negativity, and then you go into the rest of the world and it's not so bad. I've just seen people talk about the fallout, and I've also seen a lot of the Jeffree Star androgyny comparison with this one, which I will be doing today, as well as testing the fallout. I bought this one myself, it wasn't sent to me, and I haven't touched it yet. Although I've looked at it like 10 times because I think it's a really pretty palette. So that's what I got for you guys today. Also, I just really quickly wanted to mention a huge success on the merch, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much. And everybody that got a piece of merch, be sure and hashtag Larlee Los Angeles because I want to see you rocking it. And we want to do shout outs on the Larlee Los Angeles Instagram page. I'm so excited about, and you guys killed it. We sold out of all of our first order. We dipped into our second order. We're still sold out of a bunch of sizes and a couple of shirts that I've already went the day it launched and did a restock on all of that. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all that support and love. It means so much. And I also listen to all of your advice on pieces that you want to add to the collection, more sizes and things like that. So I ordered and we're working on some gimmicky stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, without further ado, be sure and subscribe to my channel before you leave. Subscribe! We'll go ahead and jump right into the video. Okay, I'm pretty excited about this video, mostly because I think it's a beautiful palette. It is kind of like the Modern Renaissance. It has like the velvety texture on it, and then it says Subculture. I remember on Snapchat I was talking about it, and everybody was like, girl, because I called it the structure palette. Sometimes I just have brain farts because I'm a human being, and that's what happens. Anyway, so it's Subculture, and it comes with 14 shades, and it comes with a brush. I'm going to go ahead and let you know I love the brushes that come in the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I think they are amazing. And that's rare for me because most brushes that come in eyeshadow palettes, I'm just like, I will never use this brush. But these brushes I always end up using. I've had boo koodles of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes and I like them. I really like her quality. So the tea on Twitter is going around with the extreme fallout, such as people tapping the pans and color is just blowing everywhere. I don't personally like that in an eyeshadow palette, and it kind of would deter me from buying a palette if it had that much fallout and much blowout, because I feel like you're wasting a lot of product. But to be honest, if a palette is too stiff and the colors are pressed too hard and I can't get any eyeshadow, that also would deter me from buying the palette, because I feel like you don't get the payoff because it's just pressed too hard in the pan and you've got to dig through shadow to really get that color payoff, and then I feel like you're kind of wasting product there too by scraping to get to the bottom of the pan. So I like a good in-between. I love a little fallout. When I tap it and a little bit of color comes off, I'm like, yes girl. You know, you gotta get that good in-between. Let's do that first, and then I have the Androgyny palette here, and we're gonna compare a couple of the shades to see the tea on that. Ooh.
I'm drinking a Capri Sun because I'm 5 years old.
I think it's pretty fair for me to try both ends of the brush that came into the palette. So let's go ahead and get really close. Before I tap into the palette, here is a close-up of it so you guys can see the shades. 14 shades right here. Really unique colors that were put in this palette together. So I have the brush that came with it. I'm going to use the more dense short end, and I'm going to go ahead and tap into All Star, because I believe this is one of the shades they were saying. So getting some on my brush. Alright, I mean, I gotta say there is some fallout. There's some pretty major fallout, but that was one brush. So let's try with the fluffy brush, maybe the orange shade right here. New Wave. Oh shit. Guys. I'm lightly tapping. Real light. Oh wow, look at that. Do you guys see that? Wow, look at that. Okay, so I don't think people are being dramatic or silly about this at all. And I'm using her very own brush. And I promise you, I am just, if you can see, just barely tapping on it. I would tap harder if I was going to get my eyeshadow on this. Guys, since that brush is dirty now, we're going to go ahead and tap a little bit into this one. Yeah, I mean, not quite as much, but there's a lot. There's a lot of fallout. Can you see that right there? Right there. Let's do Rowdy. A little tap. I'm feeling some fallout, people. What do you guys think down in the comment section? I'm being pretty gentle about her. Tap, tap, tap. And then my brush is exploding with color. All right, so now we're going to try the shimmer, and we're going to see if they have that much fallout as well. I seriously doubt the shimmers are. Yeah, the shimmers, like, don't have any fallout. Like, it's creamy. You're picking up a lot of product on your brush. No fallout there. Electric being another shimmery one. Just even going back and forth. Little specks are glitter maybe coming off, but we're not dealing. And look how much pigment we picked up. A good bit. Creamy, we're not dealing with fallout. So it's the mattes that we're talking about here. All right, moving on with the video. So next, let's compare a lot of talk. People saying that the same colors are in the Androgyny palette that are in this palette. Now, I just want to talk about Androgyny for a minute, and I think Jeffree's palettes in general, he tends to come up with shades that people don't see hardly ever, and you almost never see these shades in an eyeshadow palette. Jeffree pulls shades out of his ass. I don't even know. He like creates them in his mind. Now, you know, gold and neutral colors like that, you can't say, oh, he just created it out of his mind, you know. But then there's some colors like these. It's just like, who puts these in a palette together? It's just so unique, his work. And I think that that is what his whole cosmetics line is known for. So then whenever people saw this palette come out, I think they started to see some of the same moments happening, but in one palette. So then I think that led to a lot of questioning. So I'll do some side-by-side swatches. Just looking at the palette, if I already have Androgyny, I would not buy this palette because I do already feel like it's so much of the same stuff that it would kind of be pointless. And how many of these unique shades do you need in one eyeshadow palette? Now, I can take 100 golds and like colors like this all day long, but like the unique shades, you know, I'm not gonna buy 100 palettes with unique shades in it with the same unique shades, which I guess doesn't make it unique anymore. I would more so buy, you know, 100 warm tone palettes or something like that, you know, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it and the way I'm looking at this situation. So let's swatch New Wave and Charmed, which obviously people see a very big resemblance. They're a little bit different, but they are similar. So there you have that. We're going to do Access and Poison, which was a big question. And they're not identical, but they are incredibly similar colors, and I think that these are both unique eyeshadow colors to put in a palette. I will say Rowdy, which is the darker one, and Androgyny, which is the lighter one, are a good bit different, but they're plummy purples, but they are different. Next, we have All Star and Fetish, and what I'm realizing is All Star looks just like Androgyny, so actually, let me switch those two right beside each other. So here's All Star and Androgyny. They're not the same, but they're similar. Next, we have Destiny and Military. And again, they're not the same, but it's kind of like that deep matte green color that you have. So as you can see, it's definitely not a rip-off palette, but the colors are similar. And I think what the big fuss was about is that Jeffree is so unique with his eyeshadow creations and what he puts together in a palette, and just to see another palette come out after his that, you know, had these unique shades that are very similar, kind of had people poking around and being like, So just in my opinion, like if I already have Androgyny, I probably wouldn't buy the Subculture palette just because, like I said before, it's just got too many of the same shades. It's like the same setup of a very unique palette. You get what I'm saying. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, you guys can make your own decision. I feel like I've compared them enough. So now we're going to move on, and I'm going to do an eye look with this Subculture palette. Let me say one more thing before we jump into the tutorial on this palette. I just want to say that the Sephora Collection Pro palettes had this much, if not more, fallout as the Subculture palette. Very similar fallout, if not more. And there wasn't that big of a fuss, but because it was Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I don't know if it's because her brand has such good quality, people were upset, but I just didn't see as big as a fuss, and I felt like the Pro palettes were almost worse than this. So it's just like, why is everybody fussing about this palettes but not the Pro palettes? But then again, it could be because she has such good quality all the time. People are just shocked that the palettes would have this much fallout. I did see on Twitter Norvina saying that customer service would take care of you if you're unhappy with the palette and you don't like the fallout or you feel like there's something wrong with it, they would return, replace. And I feel like that is the right thing to do. And as long as they're taking care of their customers, then that's all right. Great, there was like a piece of, I don't know what that is, on my lip the whole time that you guys were staring at. Great. So first, I haven't primed my eyelids. Oh my god. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids with my MAC paint pot. This is soft ochre. I use this every day. And I'm gonna do a really colorful look. The difficult thing with being on YouTube, I know a lot of you guys viewing aren't necessarily a YouTuber. You're not putting out content multiple times a week. But it gets really difficult sometimes when people are like, you never use color. You do the same look. In my last video, I tried to use purple, but it just wasn't good enough. So that sucks sometimes. And today I'm gonna do a really colorful look, but then it's just a double-edged sword because I see the comments. I can't wear this. Can you do an everyday look so I can actually use the palette? So I just feel like I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place sometimes. And I know I can never make everyone happy, so I need to stop trying. But for those of you who don't put up content multiple times a week, just understand that I'm only one human and I try to make the majority of you guys happy, and I can't possibly make everybody happy, but just know I try. But today we'll be doing a colorful look with it, and as you guys know, if you're looking for a more neutral everyday look, I will have another one of those videos coming soon. Right at ya. But first, I am going to go in with a neutral shade. I'm going to take Dawn for just a transition and to soften up the eyeshadow primer. I'm going to use the M5 Girlfriend. That's unreal. Anyways, I'm going to use an M573 brush. The payoff is extreme. Look at that. Just one little baby swipe. I actually need to take this sticker off. That is some major color payoff. So let's applaud that for a second. Like, that's awesome. I guess they just changed up how they're pressing their shadows, and they just wanted to have that real moment with this palette. But really, I think people just weren't used to Anastasia's shadows being like that. So whenever they got the palette, they were just like, girl. I'm going to take a dirty R39 brush. The color isn't coming off anymore. The brush is just super dirty and I need to clean it. I'm going to take Roxy, which is a peach color. Again, just so I'm updating you, still having some fallout issue with any matte shade. But I'm going to take Roxy, and as you can tell, I'm not really putting it down here on the lid. I'm trying to focus it more so in the crease. I put it on the back side of my brush, then I flip my brush. If you get some on the lid, that's absolutely okay. And I kind of like buff the majority of the color right here on the outer corner. And then whenever there's not so much color left on the brush, I'll start to bring it on around. These shades are extremely pigmented, so you don't need a lot of product. And I recommend just going in with a light hand with your palette. So as you can see, I'm just buffing that outer corner, and then I'll just take the rest and kind of swipe it on. With the same brush, I'm going to grab some Untamed, and I'm going to keep this color a little bit lower. Look at that payoff though. Taking Untamed, I'm really just focusing it on the outer corner. There's literally so much pigment, it's unreal, and I'm just really trying not to take it in all the way. Next, I'm going to grab some of the shade Axis, which is this really bright blue color. I feel like I should get a smaller brush because, girl. I'm just going to start off with this random pencil brush and tap some on it. And then I'm going to add it right in the outer corner as well. I'm going to take that R39 brush, and now that I've added the color on, I'm just going to softly smooth it out. Well, so I initially wanted to kind of keep the color on the outer corner right here, but it was so freaking pigmented. The more I like softly blended it forward, like the color just moved forward. So guess what? We're doing a blue eye today, and that's okay. I think it'll be really pretty, but I was just trying to let you guys know my initial thoughts on what I was trying to do and like how it worked out. These colors are almost so pigmented, they're almost a little bit difficult to work with just because like you get an extreme payoff. I know someone's gonna reach through the camera and slap me for saying something's too pigmented, and I don't think it's too pigmented. I'm just saying I'm over here creating looks I didn't know I was creating because of the pigment. Well, we have blue eyes, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that brush we first used, the M573, and just soften up the outer edges. Just buffing them. I'm going really light-handed with the brush, making sure we don't move too much color around. So I had a lot of blue fall out in my inner corner right here. Like it was just so dark and blue. And so I had to take a wipey and clean that up. It was kind of becoming a mess. This blue, honestly, this is how much blue I wiped out of my inner corners. It's all over my hands. I feel like it's just a freaking mess right now, and I'm getting a little bit frustrated. We're gonna add a lot of powder so that way it can catch any more fallout and we can just sweep it away this time. Because girl, she's struggling a little bit with this blue. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna take All Star and I'm gonna sweep it on the, oh my gosh, that pigmentation. Oh, she's gonna sweep it on that lower lash line. Just gonna make these two connect right here at the end and bump uglies. Right there. And then we'll smooth that out. How do I have blue on my mustache? It's just everywhere. Now I'm kind of softly buffing that in that outer corner there so everything flows. I'm going to take a little bit of Adorn, which is the bronzy color in the palette. I'm going to apply just a little bit to the center of the lid because I feel like the look is just so plain and matte. It needs like a little zhuzh, little spotlight moment. I'm going to grab an E17 brush and just soften up those edges of the gold. Bronzy color. Every time I touch this blue color, I'll admit I get a little shaky because I'm like, oh my god, it's everywhere. It's all over my pants, it's all over my desk, it's on all my brushes, it's all over my hands. I have to keep wiping them with a makeup wipe. This is like a lot of pigment. Now I'm gonna pop on some false lashes and I'll be right back. I'm actually gonna be a little bit fun and add a star. Oh my god, so fun. What is that? Okay, ready.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
Okay, these are the Milk makeup stamps and I love them. So cute. I'm gonna take a little bit of this Urban Decay Cranberry Plummy liner pencil and just do the waterline with it. You know she's gonna make the face. You know I gotta make the face. And here is our eye look. So now I'm going to try out the liquid glow. So we have two colors that I bought. I bought Perla and Oyster. They come in squeezy tubes, which I like. I like the squeezy tubes. I think they're just like a cute, clean way to apply them. Here are both of the colors swatched. So I think they are really pretty. They aren't as pigmented, as you can see, a little bit more sheer whenever you blend them out. They're not quite as pigmented as the Cover FX one, but I know not everybody wants that. So I'm just letting you see what it is, and then you can decide on your own if you think it's, you know, worth it. But they're really pretty, so I'm gonna apply a little bit to the cheeks. I'm gonna try on the pearl one because that is the prettiest one to me out of the two. I'm just going to the blender. Oh, that's really pretty. It's really pretty. We got to be careful and miss the star. I should have put the star on after the highlight. That's okay. We can work around it. All right, there is the highlight. I think they're really pretty highlights, and I think they're pretty blinding. Okay, so I have two of the lipsticks I'm gonna try out. I bought two colors. Where'd they go? So I bought a fun color and I bought a neutral color. I bought Dread and Insomniac. Insomniac, oh, it pretty much matches our eye look, so let's try it out. First, I'm gonna swatch it to get her going. Warm it up. Major color payoff. Ugh. Do you guys ever feel like if you like warm something up, it definitely works better? I'm kind of cracking myself up here. I gotta say, these are really pigmented. So this is so pigmented. It's very matte and not sheer at all. You see no color through it. It's really comfortable to wear. The color's bright, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, I hate it, I hate that color. The color's a fun color. It's for people who wanna have fun with makeup. I think they're great quality lipsticks. All right, next up I have Dread, which is a pretty brown color, and I'm such a sucker for like these during the fall time, and I can't wait to try it on my lips. Girl, that payoff. These lipsticks are bomb. They're so creamy too. If only I knew how to not mess up my lipstick. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and order. Girl, you better stop. Why the hell does this happen? Great. My lipstick's full of hair. Right whenever I was trying to compliment you. I don't know if I did that because I rolled it up too far. I'll have to watch the video footage over, but why did that just break? All right, guys, this is the final look. What did you guys think about the palette? To be completely honest, after actually using it on my eyes and like playing with it myself, I got really annoyed with the blue colors because they were just everywhere. They were all in my fingernails. They were all over my fingers. I looked down and it's all over my pants because the fall is just like exploding and the blue is so pigmented. It was just like almost I was playing in paint and I was a little kid. It was just everywhere. I don't think eyeshadow should really be that messy. Again, I feel like the Sephora Pro palettes are the exact same situation, and I feel like Anastasia is getting bashed a little bit harsh because I'm like, you guys are bashing. Everybody just bashes the more popular brand, I guess you could say, but it's what it is. I don't know that I would buy the palette, honestly, after dealing with the fallout. It's just so extreme. It kind of got on my nerves by the end of it. I was like, done. But I put the information out there for you guys, for you to decide for yourself. I'm obsessed with the lipsticks, even though it broke. I'm obsessed with the highlighters. They're really beautiful. I love you guys. Thank you for being here and watching. I'm sure this video is going to be like 10 years long. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys. I love you so much. I love you so much. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I love you. You, I love.